Hey everyone, it's the end of the month, which means another HRT update. So, quite a lot to talk about actually, and today is an important day because it is officially my transanniversary, I guess, if you want to call it that. Basically, what that means is that today marks exactly 4 years since I had my grand revelation that I'm a trans woman. Um, so I know I've gained quite a lot of a following and I've changed with how I upload these videos. So a lot of people don't know my little whole coming out story. Basically, the night of the 29th, technically, April 29th, I had a dream. And I was just dressing up in super femme, you know, girly outfits, like I don't know. I guess the easiest way to describe it is like think 2020 2021 TikTok e-girl type of outfit, I guess. I had like I know I had like shoulder length hair or something like that, and I was like had a lot of makeup and I looked very feminine, and I looked at myself in the mirror and I smiled. I was very happy. Then the following day I woke up and I was so confused. I'm like, what the hell is this? What was that? And I had probably had a shower, had identity crisis. I was panicking. I was like, what's going on? Because like this was 4 years ago. So this was 2022. I was about to turn 20, and I was so confused. I I past 2 decades of my life, I started to completely uh, like question everything I knew about myself. And then after talking to, I didn't have any direct contact with like other trans women at the time. I used to, but the year prior, I cut her off, but those are unrelated reasons. But basically, I had a few friends who at least, oh my god, what the hell is up with his wig? I'm just gonna leave that. That's for later. Um, anyways, I had a few friends who at the time like were non-binary and identified as such. Although one of them later did course correct and identified as a trans woman afterwards. Funny enough, she actually told me that I kind of inspired her to make that realization. Um, so, but anyways, getting sidetracked. So, I asked them for their guidance, their advice on, hey, what made you realize you weren't cis and things like that, and they gave me their views, their experiences, and it did help me sort of come into an understanding. And eventually, I was like, you know what? I'm a trans woman. I'm a woman. Um, and then decided on the name Layla because one because like that name had been circling around for quite a bit around that time. It was kind of coincidental. I was in a D&D campaign and a friend of mine had a character named Layla. I was watching Moon Knight on Disney Plus, and the main female character there, along with the Moon Knight himself, her name was Layla, and I really liked her character. Um, and then let's see. Um, I ended up asking my mom. I this was when I was still in the closet, by the way. I had asked her, "Hey, what if I was born a girl, what would I have been named?" I basically said it under the guise of, "Oh, my friends and I are sharing names that we almost got when we were born." And so yeah, I asked her that, and basically she said that I would have been named Layla, spelled differently though. But the plan was because my dead name is based off of my grandpa's, so we had the same name, and if I was born AFAB cis woman and all of that, I would have been named after his cousin instead. And so finding that out made me think, okay, I guess this is kind of faded, but like that's my name, Layla, and I've been running with it ever since. I was coming out to like very, very slowly. First to like all my closest friends and all of that. Then I came out to my mom during finals week, but that was mainly just because I was like, I need to tell someone in my family. And I decided to tell her because I at least knew that she at least like had met people who either were trans themselves or had trans kids my age. And so that made me a bit more reassured. And then like a month later, or almost a full month later, I came out to my dad. And then um, I came out to a couple of close relatives, mainly cousins, during my birthday, during Pride Month. And then August is when I publicly came out. I had a whole social media post talking about it and I shared it with everyone. So, yeah, that was my whole coming out story. But it started today, 4 years ago. Now that I'm done with that whole lore dump, we're 6 minutes in this video, let's talk about what's actually, current, what's going on now. And actually, there are some new stuff, all right? This isn't me just padding things out by talking about my backstory. There are some new things. So, my estradiol dosages have still been going. Everything's been going fine. However, I am taking a new thing. It is called dutasteride because I told the physician, I was like, I hate body hair, I hate facial hair, and I've been trying different ways to mitigate that, but it hasn't really been working. Like, I know the last time that I had made one of these videos, I talked about like that, um, like face oil thing that's been popping around TikTok shop. I will say, I'm not saying like it's a scam or anything like that. I'm just saying if you just have like peach fuzz or like very slight facial hair growth, or it's very slow, then it'll probably work. If you're like me, you can grow a full you can. If I were to leave my face alone for 2 days, I would have like a full visible, easily visible scruff. Even one day is kind of so. Yeah, any sort of like issue, any sort of differences that face oil was giving, I'm almost done with it. Has been little to none. So I was like, I need something else, and so she prescribed me dutasteride. Now I know that its main use is to help with like prostate cancer, so I don't have that. But one of the side effects that it tends to be favorable is that it helps with scalp hair health. And what it is that it like diminishes the production of a specific protein that your body can make, um, that on one hand causes your scalp to dry up, and on the other hand helps with facial and body hair. That's why a lot of times you'll see guys who are bald have really good beards, because those two things are caused by the same chemical in your body. I don't know what the specific terminology is, but it's all from the same thing. And so this medication, dutasteride, minimizes that stuff actually forming in your body. So I've been taking it. I've noticed slight changes, which is good, and also eliminates the chance I get prostate cancer, which is I I think I have an uncle who almost had that, or at least like it could have turned into that. So probably good to prepare, you know, because yeah, I've had a couple of family members having get procedures for cancer, and it's scary stuff. I haven't lost anyone to that, thankfully, but yeah. So that's been my app session so far, but I want to thank you all for supporting the series, supporting my content, and for letting me share my story. So tune in next month, right before Pride Month. Ha!